Yes.
Yeah, I figured I'd go with something retro. I do have the book. This is the book. I was going to do a different month. I was going to do the actual original November book that I did for the article because I figured it would be easier because I already had the books and data. But you know what? I couldn't find that wizard. So I found this wizard. So I decided to do 1993.
All right, let's do 93.
All right. The reason why I'm doing this is because we all know comic books. Everything's cyclical.
Sucks.
Everything's cyclical. It comes back around. So all of this has happened before, and all of this will happen again. I think this is true. This is Battlestar Galactica. I think this resonates for what we do because that's how things go. Spec comes around. It really does.
Ryan, you're younger than me?
Is he? Yeah. Anyway, we're going all the way back to November 1993. So let me paint that picture for all you youngins out there. Corbin's already gone, so I that's fine.
He wasn't even born in 93.
He wasn't. Well, maybe he was.
No, I don't think he was.
But still, 1993. What do we have? Evander Holyfield was fighting Riddick Bowe and actually took the title from him on November 6th. Snoop Dogg released Doggy Style on the 23rd. Oh my God. Yes, Doggy Style. Gin and juice, all that stuff. Yes, this was 93. And oddly enough, Spielberg released Schindler's List on November 30th.
Wow.
Just this is broad strokes kind of like idea to get you guys in the mindset of 1993. But I'm going to fine detail it for you a little bit more and hit you with some movies. These are movies that came out in 93. We had Carlito's Way.
Oh, yeah.
Three Musketeers. Mrs. Doubtfire. RoboCop 3.
RoboCop 3 came out that? God.
Yes. And Look Who's Talking Now, which was about the dogs.
I missed that one.
This is what came out in 93.
I saw all of them except for the dogs.
Yeah, you know, RoboCop 3 was Frank Miller, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Did 2 and 3 or just 3? I thought he might have done 2 and 3.
We're from Detroit. We know
he might have wrote 2 and 3.
He did. We're from Detroit. We know
when he brought the ninja in, it was a bridge too far. The ninja was too much.
All right. Somewhere.
Music. We'll get to Billboard.
Hey, Carlito.
Yeah. Outside of that, the Billboard Top 10. Meatloaf was ruling the charts.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
I was looking at these songs. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
May rest in peace.
No,
Ace of Base.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he passed away earlier this year.
Ah, damn, he was a nice dude.
Yeah, Meatloaf passed away just this year.
I met him before a couple times. He's really nice.
Yeah, but Ace of Base was number 2.
Oh, that's the one.
Just
There's
kicking
another
it.
Baby. Yeah,
Jackson's again. Mariah Carey, Dream. Like this was some crazy stuff going back.
What was the other one? Who was just kicking it? What was that? Who was that?
That was Escape. It was a female group.
Okay. And what was Mariah's?
And Mariah was number 5 after Janet. It was Janet Jackson's again, and then Mariah with Dream Lover.
Ooh. Yeah, Mariah's always on fire.
If you go back down to number 9, Tag Team was still hitting it with Whoop. There it is. Again. At number 9. And Tony with Anniversary at number 10.
Tony has done it again.
Oh, dude, I love Tony. All right, if you want to get to TV, to give you the sense of what was going on in TV, our Nielsen ratings for the time will give us the top 5 shows of 93.
I was young back then. I had time to listen to 15-hour-long songs.
Frasier? Did you watch Frasier? I didn't watch Frasier.
I never saw Frasier.
Yeah, Frasier wasn't for me. I did watch Roseanne.
I watched Roseanne.
Yeah, I did watch Roseanne. Seinfeld. I didn't watch
it. But I watched Roseanne. This must have been towards the end. I wasn't watching it then.
Yeah, well, it was like Roseanne season 6 and Seinfeld season 5 at this time.
I was too busy necking in cars listening to, but I won't do that.
Most of this stuff I watched on reruns later.
Surprisingly, number 2, 60 Minutes was a big deal back then. Can you guess what the number 1 show was of 1993?
Apparently nothing worth watching. Hey, Michigan show again. There you go.
Tim Allen.
We really ran the movies.
Tim Allen was dominating.
Yep.
He was dominating back then. But that was the #1 show of '93.
Who was the mom? I was really hot for the mom.
Patricia Heaton.
Oh, I would fought for her.
All right, and just because I thought it would be kind of fun, I said, you know what? Let me find out what week of the NFL season it was back in '93. And while it may be week 8 for us now, it was week 13 back in 1993.
Wow.
And at week 13, we had the Miami Dolphins at 9-2, the Bills at 8-3, the Houston Oilers. Not the Tennessee Titans.
No, he's no
Houston Oilers.
Moon just throwing fucking rockets out there all day long.
We're at 7-4. The Chiefs were at 8-3. Kick it on over to the NFC. We had the Giants at 8-3. The Cowboys at 7-4. The Detroit Lions were leading the division at 7-4 in 1993. I don't know if
Barry at
95 when we ended up getting to the playoffs. Yeah, that was the 93 was the Mitchell year. Yeah, it was the Mitchell year.
It was Scott Mitchell back then?
Yeah.
The Packers were tied.
It was a silver salute offense. They pretty much ran a pro eye option.
They were doing run and gun. They were spread 4 wide. They had the running back, and then
they didn't run 4 wide because they didn't have 4 wide receivers to run fucking 4 wide. And it was a lot of like curl pass, drop pass back option stuff.
But that's where we were in the NFL season. You can see those were the top teams at the time. And our wizard was wizard number 27. For November of 1993.
That was that Bills team that lost 4 Super Bowls in a row.
I have the book here. I flipped through it. There's some articles. There's some stuff here about some artists. There's Halloween stuff because it really was a month behind. There's hunks and babes and things like that. But I didn't cover any of that. I'm just covering kind of the spec sort of related stuff.
Wildcats, really.
Wildcats in the cover. But we're going to go to their comic watch. So Wizards Comic Watch for the month of November wanted us to pay attention to the first appearance of Jubilee.
Huh?
In 1993, the first appearance of Jubilee was $7.
Whoa. Sounds about it. That's really expensive for 93.
Today, it's 30 to 40. I think that gives them a pass. They were right on with this one. This is one we should have paid attention to. However, their other comic, I've talked about this book before. Dragon's Claws number 5, which is actually the first appearance of Death's Head on the U.S.
Yeah.
At the time, in 93, this was still only $1.75. Today, it doesn't set the world on fire. It's 3 to 10, but I still think it should be a little bit more. What I think was weirder, they did have this next segment, which was picks from the Wizard's hat. The hottest book shipping the month that this came out. And again, these were October of 93 books because everything was like a month ahead.
Zaggy.
Yeah, everything was like a month ahead. So these were the new releases for the month that they thought, hey, this is stuff you guys should be investing in. So let's see how they did.
Report.
Solar, Man of the Atom was their big ticket item leading off their column.
The black cover or this cover?
It's this cover right here. Number 29. It was presented in Valiant Vision. I think it had 3D glasses. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it came with 3D glasses.
You had to get the Valiant Vision starter kit to get the 3D glasses.
It was $2.25 in 1993. And today, no. It's $1 or less.
No, it's $2.25 is cover price. Yeah. Oh, because it's coming out the next week. Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying it was $2.25 then. It's $1 now. Like legit. I looked it up on eBay to see what prices were, and yeah.
No, we'll give it to BK. Look that one up.
Hey, Valiant was all the rage, so we had Harbinger number 25, milestone issue, I guess, right? 1993. This was $350. $350 was like a double-sized issue, and again, this is only $1 or less.
I mean, people buying Valiant for cover price back in the day must be out of their shit.
They weren't buying cover price. Valiant back in the day was expensive. I remember.
Cover price was $350. Every other book, like Marvel's books, were $1.25.
I know, but what I'm saying is I was still buying up, like I was paying up for some Valiant books. I'm like, ooh, Rye, Exo Man of War. I need that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I was bought into it.
Because this shit, Wizard.
Yeah, well, Wizard. It did drive the market at the time. This was
Lobo
the thing.
1.
Lobo number 1 in 1993 was released for it should go $2.95. Today, surprisingly, this would have been a good deal. It's $4 to $10. It only took you nearly 30 years, but you could have tripled your money.
Inflation rate adjusted, it's actually way less.
It's way less. Yeah, if you want to talk about inflation, you want to talk about bad investments. Well, how did investing in Defiant Comics work out for you?
Holy shit.
Oh,
Defiant,
not good for me.
Oh my God.
Dark Dominion. Number 1. 1993. This was $2.50 cover. Today, I thought this would be $1 book. You know what? It's not. It's $2. $5.
Yeah, I will admit I wasted a lot of money on Defiant stuff.
Oh, Plasm. You invest in Plasm.
I have all the cards.
I think our last one from the Wizard Picks of the Hat. A favorite of mine. I do like Gambit. I do like Gambit, and I remember this mini. I have a newsstand I found of this. This was $2.50. 1993. This is $2.50 cover. But today, surprisingly or not surprisingly, it's $1 to $3. It really isn't. I thought this would be more, but it wasn't. Maybe it's just the newsstand. If you can find a newsstand, you might do all right. The direct, nobody cares.
Can't press this book either.
What's that?
Can't press this book. It's
no. Yeah, this is like cardstock. This is thick.
Yeah, thick. It's got all.
There's also like a 4-pack or whatever you can get from like the Toys R Us pack that you get the whole mini inside. You can get that too at a decent price. But Wizard also had a segment called Good and Cheap. These were good reading books that you can still pick up cheap that they had inside of here. They also had like a trading card.
Trading card.
In here as well, but I didn't get into that.
Same thing as Heroes.
But their good and cheap pick was Iron Man, number 215 and 216. I guess they liked Rhodey versus Tony Stark. This was $4 back then in 1993.
Oh, that seems expensive.
And today, well, these two books, not just one, 2 books are $1 to $6.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's still good and cheap. If you want to read this story, you still can. The opportunity is still there for you.
I think that's the cheap part, right?
I think the real thing that people are looking forward to for this, going back to the Wizard, is the top 10.
Yeah.
So let's go to the top 10 for November of 1993.
All right, what do we got?
All right, with the top 10, we have number 10 right here. Superman, number 82.
Oh, good Lord.
Chromium.
Wow.
Chromium cover. You know you love the chromium.
Yeah.
In 1993, this book was a whopping $3.50.
Oh my God.
$3.50.
And surprisingly, today, people will still pay $9 to $20 for this thing. This was the return of Superman. This was his return. After the death, we had all the different versions, yada, yada, yada. This was the return of the OG original Superman, good guy and everything. So, $9 to $20. Number 9, Ren and Stimpy. Number 1. I still grab this when I find it for $1. If I can find this for $1, I still grab Ren and Stimpy today.
Yeah.
But in 1993, you know what this was selling for in 93?
$5?
No. It was selling for $22.
Oh!
Wow.
In 1993, this was $22.
Whew.
22 in 93. But today, this is only, where is it? Today, it's 5 to 11.
This was at the peak of Ren and Stimpy, though, right?
This was at the peak Ren and Stimpy. Yeah. Yes, this was the height of their
Happy,
popularity.
Happy, Joy, Joy, and Log, and everything.
Oh yeah. $22. Now it's 30 years. You lost half your money.
Wow.
All right, we'll get to number 8. Number 8, we're going to go to old school Valiant. And yes, this is Shadow Man number 16, which I don't know if you guys know what this is. But this is the first appearance of Dr. Mirage, who got his own title with Valiant. So the first Dr. Mirage in Shadow Man 16 showed up in 1993 and was a $9 book. Today, well, you could find copies for $1 to $6. And generally, the $6 copies are with free shipping. So it's all the same. Number 7. Valiant was king. We are talking about the 90s. If it wasn't Image, it was Valiant.
Valiant was really not king.
Valiant Bloodshot, number 7.
Oh, I know.
Not the first appearance, but I guess the first full Ninjak in Bloodshot, number 7.
Everybody missed out on the one before.
Yeah, you missed out. This was your book. So it was $6 in 93. Today, this is still $1 to $3. Nobody cares about Ninjak these days, nor do they care about the first full and not first cameo or whatever you want to call it in Bloodshot number 6, which also has a very bad cover because he's like falling from a plane. He's like, not a great book. All right, moving on. Number 6. Do you guys remember Malibu?
Yes.
Oh, the Ultraverse.
The Ultraverse.
Yeah, right.
Prime, not number 1, but Prime number 2 was polybagged, I believe, with cards or a card. In 93, this was $6 and everybody wanted it.
I don't know why I enjoyed Prime. And
I like Prime.
Out of
all of the Ultraverse books, I like Prime and I like Rune. Like I like the Barry Windsor Smith Rune.
Yeah.
And Nightman. I had a little thing for Nightman. I was like, all right, it's kind of cool. Nightman.
Yeah, a little thing for Nightman, huh?
Yep.
Nightman had a TV show too for a minute.
I think he did.
Yeah.
But $1 or less for this Prime number 2. Prime number 1 still is okay.
Yeah, it is, right.
But Prime number 2.
Not so much.
93. If you guys don't remember what the big deal of 1993 was, well, Vengeance of Pain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nightfall. In 93, this book was $27. In 93. And surprisingly, today, this is still $50 to $70 raw. These are raw prices. I didn't want to go to 9.8s. This is just raw prices. But yeah, 50 to 70. So you still would have made money if you invested in The Vengeance of Bane back in 93. Maybe not a ton, but something. And if it wasn't Batman, the other big deal of the time in 93 was Daredevil. So Fall from Grace, the prologue. You had this white cover, then you had the glow in the dark black cover.
Scott McDaniel.
Yeah, Scott McDaniel. That's right. When he had the new black suit was his thing. This is like $6 back in the day. So in 1993 is $6. Today, well, it's still $3 to $10. So it didn't really maintain or go up all that much. But what are you going to do? Number 3, Batman, $4.97. Bane, Kelly Jones, just breaking the Batman's back. Everybody loved this. Everybody was hunting this. Everybody wanted this. $10.
Multiple printings, overlay.
Yeah, it had the little the little half cover thing that they released. But today, this $10 book is all of. You can get it for $1 or up to 15. So, close to where it was. And if it wasn't Bane that was really tickling your fancy, Batman was still the king in 93. And then you probably loved Jean-Paul Valley. Azrael was your dude. And this mini-series, Batman, Sword of Azrael. I remember hunting for this thing to try to complete it because I didn't have all of it. Pain in the ass. Issue 1 in 1993 was a $24 book. Today, well, not 24, but it's still 10 to 15. So people still
Valley was never my dude.
He's never your dude.
Nope.
He wasn't a great Batman. They had an opportunity, but they made him kind of shitty.
Yep. He's back recently too. I think he's out nowadays.
Yeah, they have a new. I think there's a whole new Batman Sword of Azrael miniseries running right now. But our number one book, and I could not believe.
Didn't Quesada go back to DC?
Yeah, Quesada went to not Batman. He went to DC. But yes, he did. But our number one book of November 1993 was Daredevil 320 Fall from Grace, Chapter 1, Silver Sable crossover with Daredevil. This was $6.
Who the fuck drew this cover?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, $5. This was Scott McDaniel. This was the Scott McDaniel
horrible.
Yeah.
This was $5 back in the day. And if you want this book today, well, it's all of $1 to $5.
If it's $1, this is horrible. And the art's
this was a disappointing number one, I will admit. But for fun, I figured I wouldn't leave it here with just the top 10. So let's just quickly just throw all top 10 hottest artists of 1993 out there to see who people were loving back in 93. Are Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Joe Quesada, Mark Silvestri, Bart Sears. It's a name I haven't heard in a while. Eric Larson, Sam Keith, Greg Capullo, Bernard Chang. Again, Valiant was a thing. And Dave Lapham.
Wow.
Crazy that these were the top 10 artists of 93.
No, it's not. If you remember the 90s.
I do remember the 90s, but when you think about it today, I mean, again, when you look at it, I mean, most of like the Image guys, it kind of makes sense. But Bart Sears was in there.
Yeah, all right.
What happened to Bart Sears?
Well, I mean, when you can take a picture like that with glasses instead of a gold chain and your Hawaiian shirt 3/4 buttoned down, fuck yeah, you're gonna be in top 5.
Yeah, well, I remember Babes and Brutes. He used to have an article in Wizard, the Babes and Brutes, where he would draw. Like he did Exo, Man of War. Like I remember his art. Like
that's why he was in the list.
That's why he's in the top 5. Big surprise.
I guess so. And well, we did the artists, so I figured we needed to do the writers. So
look at Greg's Greg look ridiculous.
Check, these are the writers. Again, this is a hit list.
Damn, Frank.
Neil Gaiman, Peter David, Frank Miller, Alan Moore, John Byrne are your top 5. Can't argue with that.
Man, I don't like Moore that much, but I like the others.
Jim Shooter, Fabian Nazia, John Ostrander.
Well, Jim Shooter, Jim Shooter's the only reason there because he's in Valiant. Come on.
Well, all right.
No, he was at Plasma doing Plasma at this time.
Was he doing
Mike
Plasma
Grell
right now?
and Bob Layton.
Yeah, Defiant.
Yeah, this was the Defiant. You saw. We were talking Defiant.
Fair enough. Damn.
So
Bob Layton.
Mike Grell?
Yeah, Mike Grell.
Fuck? No wonder the comics this period were pretty shit besides the top.
What do you got against Alan Moore?
No, I just don't like Alan Moore shit. No, I don't have any.
I know he's a weird dude.
I let him get a slide. I said the top row, so I included him in good shit being written at this point.
Yeah, I mean it was the top row, but that was our Wizard Rewind for 1993. I hope to do this. If you guys like this, let me know. We can do it again. I can do this once a month.